Okay, one more and then we'll get into a song. One more question.
Okay, I'm gonna read it in English because you have many fans that are writing their questions in English. So,
Okay.
um, in a live show situation, how do you approach routing in your session regarding backing tracks, your guitar channel, so you can send them to the FOH front of the house?
Mm. So I'm going to switch my screen back over. Here you can see this is the beginning of my show session. This is where it starts. And once I'm finished working through, you can see here I'm working through the MIDI. I'm not done yet. Once this is finished, I bring in the stems from the album recordings, the backing tracks, and then I sync them to the songs. So I make sure that they're in time with the MP3s, and they're all going to start piling up down here, lots and lots of tracks. And then what I do is I essentially select the elements that I want to be, heard more than others. So mixing essentially. And I leave everything as separate individual tracks as long as I can. And on the last day of rehearsal, I will then print combinations of tracks down into bounces. I organize them in the way that we send them to the front of house and send them to our ears. Okay, so the way I do it is I'll try to do this as quick as possible. Aside from the band on stage, what you see physically, we try to play as much as possible with our hands. And if there's a main part or something that you're hearing or you want to hear from the album, you're going to see me play it. It's not in the tracks. I want the experience to feel like the album. So we have the layers and the things that come in and out. So I organize it like this. Guitar harmonies, and we call them guitarmonies. And those are additional guitars that support me on certain lines. And sometimes the second guitar will do it live. But if he's playing rhythm, then it's not possible. Then we'll have like layered guitars and things that kind of feel like almost like synths in a way, like octaves and, clean ambient things. And then we'll have synthesizers or, music tracks that are not guitar, synths, strings, various things. And then we'll have effects, things like swells, reverse reverbs, snare reverbs. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have sub drops, sub bass drop, boom, And if you were going to organize or separate anything, this is the one you put on its own. You need to have control over that. And then other than that, maybe percussion, like tambourines and shakers and things. And all of these are coming to the front of house on their own channels. My engineer has control over all of these things. And to make sure that the computer runs smooth, I'm bouncing large amounts of tracks down into these like organization, and we'll use click track as well, but the audience doesn't hear that. That's just for our ears. And it's my favorite because we can start songs without having to count in. Essentially, the music just begins out of nowhere. More professional. And that's pretty much it. There will be some sequenced MIDI as well for the changing the external devices like the guitar. We will also, on a larger production, if we don't have a human, we will use the session to sequence the lights as well. And it all happens in Logic. And I just try to make sure that there's as little as happening as possible so that the show and the computer runs smooth. Nice. I'm going to play another song and then we'll get into some more questions.